Hey, Aaron, do we have a quorum?
We do have a quorum and we have one of our new members, David, and I'm not going to try to butcher your last name, David.
It's Ulick.
Ulick.
Yep.
So yeah, we have 6 members present currently, and I have yes, we're good to go.
You want to get started?
Yeah, we can go ahead and get started.
Okay.
Liz and Angela just joined, so we're good.
Okay. All right. Don't really need to do a roll call. So, everybody had a chance to review the minutes?
Yes,
Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Okay. Do we have any public comment?
I have no public comment and nobody is in attendance to speak at the moment.
Okay, none heard. Aaron, the secretary's report.
All right. Currently, we have 146 properties on the blighted property list. That includes the 6 that were blighted at the April meeting. 18 of the blighted properties will be going in front of the Planning Commission during their May meeting for the blight to be designated as blighted for the authority to proceed with the condemnation process for the Erie Land Bank under the Land Bank's 2021 work plan. So we'll be working through that process now that we have approved funding from the county land bank to acquire those properties and ultimately convey them as needed based on their condition. That's it.
Have you received any correspondence?
I did. I received a call from Gina Franco. She's the owner of 2236 Warfel Avenue, one of the properties that we blighted last month. She lives in Staten Island, New York. She kind of gave this, she bought the property. She didn't know the condition. She had talked to Mike a few times about getting the property demolished, getting some demo contractors out there. She reached back out to Mike. He mentioned that the land bank could take a donation of the property. She spoke with me and I have sent her an agreement to start the process of accepting the donation of 2236 Warfel Avenue. That's very early on in the process. She has to agree and we have to do a title search and she has to pay the taxes on the property in order for us to accept that donation. So as it moves forward, I'll keep, of course, this board and every board involved on that.
Aaron, I think last time somebody, I believe, explained that she acquired that through a quick claim deed, but did we find out any more about, what her intentions were? Is there a cautionary tale here as this moves along? Was she trying to use it as income property? Do we know any of the backstory, more of the backstory on this? I guess just because I've been reading some alarming tales about people trying to make investments and ending up, driving up prices. This doesn't sound like that was the case, but do we know any more?
Right. No, and Mike may be able to put a little bit more light on it if he, had another conversation with her. I know all we know at this point is, she holds 4 properties in the city of Erie, 2236 Warfel, another one on Wayne Avenue, which is part of the 2021 work plan by the Erie Land Bank. She owns the 901 West 4th Street bar at the corner of 4th and Plum Street. And there's another property that I'm not familiar with at this point, but those are the 4 properties she owns 3 of them I know are vacant, so that's kind of the story there with her. So what her purpose is with them, I'm not positive. I can only make assumptions.
Thanks.
That's all my correspondence, Andy.
Okay. Anything else? None heard? Old business.
All right, we have 2 properties for declaration of blight rescission. Both of these are properties that 2501 Brandis was acquired by the redevelopment authority and transferred to the land bank. It was conveyed under a developer's agreement to a developer for rehabilitation, and he has removed the blight from the property. Let me share my screen real quick. Oh, I gotta check all these stuff. Can you all see the picture?
Yep.
All right. So this, 2501 Brandis, it was a blighted property. It was blighted in 2009. So it sat on the list for a while. It was taken under the first work plan of the land bank. And so it's our first rehab under the land bank that was rehabbed and is going to be offered for sale. It's currently on the market. I'm not sure if they have an offer on it or not, but it's certainly, been rehabilitated and is ready for its next homeowner. And then 312 Walnut was another one that was acquired by the redevelopment authority as a blighted property. It had been blighted for some time, vacant for some time. The power was still on because Penelec was still debiting the deceased owner's bank account for power. But our West Bayfront acquired it through a developer's agreement from the redevelopment authority, and in collaboration with the city and their home program, she received funding to rehabilitate it back from its blighted condition. So those 2 are up there for blight rescission this month. All right, so yeah.
So you need a motion to rescind?
Yes, ma'am.
So moved.
I'll
Second.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's nice to see some coming back.
Absolutely.
You're here.
Okay, Mike. You have 5 for us today?
Yes. So can everyone hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So first up, we have 2708 Pear Street. This we've been dealing with since 2017. They are owed back taxes from 2019 to 2021 over $1,700. It is vacant. We've sent a lot of notices to this one, but on the packet I can only fit the last 4. We sent a notice in June of 19, July of 19, October of 20, and a repair demo order in May of this year. They were cited in 2018, no show, found guilty, and cited in July of 17, no show, found guilty. The utilities and the water and the power were just turned on. So with this one, there's a little bit more of a story. The owner did respond to my repair demo order, and apparently this one, it was involved in a divorce settlement, and they've been fighting and arguing over this property for the last few years. She has, the current owner now has sole possession of it, and she says she is going to begin repairs. She did repair some doors, get the power turned back on with proper permits, and the water is on. She has quite a bit of work to do there. I think I think she is moving on it, but I'm still presenting it for Blake just in case it becomes a start and stop situation. I told her I would work with her if she does continue to show progress and does move on it, then I would, help her and then present it for Blake rescind if it comes to that. But I'm just afraid it's gonna be left. It's just gonna start and then be left sitting like it has been for so long.
How big is that property, Mike?
It's pretty big. It's a double lot there.
Yeah.
It looks like they may have started a gut job back in 17 or 18. And then from whatever issues they had, they walked away from it and it's been sitting for quite a while. We boarded it up. I know Steve Yerkowitz has been there quite a few times and it's in a pretty nice area.
I'll move to Blight.
I'll second, Rich.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay, next up, I have 41 Kellogg Street. This is another longstanding one. Our first case was back in 2018. This one owed back taxes from 2018 to 2021 over $8,000. The water has been off since April of 2019, and there's $1,400 owed on the water and $1,300 owed on the sewer and garbage. So that's not more than likely not getting turned on anytime soon. There's a back second story deck there that's a little unstable and borderline unsafe. The front porch is collapsing. We sent notices in June of 18, June of 20, October of 20, and April of this year. They were cited in 2018 and it was dismissed by Judge Bizarro because she showed up with her attorney and they had stated they were going to donate it to some type of charity organization and she didn't want it anymore. So he dismissed the citation to allow her to do that. And then in November of 18, it never happened. So she was cited again and they said they were in the process of doing that, but it still never happened. But so he dismissed it again to allow them time to do that. And then in October of last year, they were cited again and the results are outstanding. This is one that she has indicated to the property maintenance inspector that she may be willing to donate to the land bank just because she wants rid of it, which is why I'm seeking the blight designation to help that happen.
I have a question.
Sure.
Mike, did this, when you say outstanding, is it scheduled before the magistrate or hasn't it been assigned yet?
June 1st is a scheduled hearing as of right now.
And do we have anybody that, do we have a solicitor? Does this board have a solicitor that can represent us at the hearing and say, look, the office has tried to work with these folks and they continue to be, they're not doing their part here, or?
Typically the property maintenance inspector and myself, if it's a blighted property, go to the hearings, but we don't take the city solicitor with us, not usually, unless it's an unusual case.
Oh, okay. So, but you'll let the judge know that, this is round 3 and they still haven't done what they've promised, and.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for the PJ, for the larger cases and the more complex, usually Kathy Doyle from the solicitor's office will attend the hearings if they need, but pretty much Mike or the property maintenance inspectors can handle the hearings on smaller cases like this.
Well, I guess that was more my question, Kathy, was whether or not we have people that represent us or if we send a city solicitor that goes. I can understand why we would just send our, I'm sure Mike does a fine job when he goes there, but I just, I wanted to be sure that we were sending somebody, so.
Sure. Good question.
My hope with this one is a blight designation would allow the redevelopment authority and the owner to work together and maybe get this rectified before it even comes to that. But I mean, I don't know.
Well, considering you've already been there twice, it seems doubtful.
Yeah. I said hope.
I'll move to blight.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, next up, I have 601, 603 East 10th Street. This one dates back to 2016. The taxes are current. The water is on. There was I spoke to the water authority about this one, and they said there was a recertification of the account on May 6, 2021. And they said that means one of two things: either the property is being sold or it's been refinanced. Now, according to county website, it has not changed ownership. So I'm hoping maybe they're refinancing it with the intentions of repairing it. But I don't know. I have not been in contact with these owners. They haven't responded to any of our notices. It's been vacant for quite a while. There was notices sent in May of 18, July of 18, July of last year, and May of this year. It's a nice building. It's structurally sound from what I can tell from the outside, but it's just been sitting so long and vacant. And it's got some exterior repairs to do there on the on the decks. There was one window that was kind of open, and I peeked in, and it does look decent on the inside, but it's been sitting vacant for so long. I'm hoping they're going to begin work, but I don't have any information or contact with the owner, which is why I'm seeking the Blake designation, just to kind of maybe prompt it.
I'll move to Blight. This is Rich.
Second,
I'll second, Kathy.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next, we have 1017 German. This one dates back to August of 17, and we've been dealing with this back and forth. And this was another start and stop. We would send a notice out. They would do some of the repairs. We would leave them go, and then they would stop. We would send a notice out, and it would just rinse and repeat. The taxes are owed back to 2019. We recently just had to board it up because people were breaking into it. So there's a board and seal lien on it from April of this year. The water is off, has been off since September of 2018. There is no account balance, so they paid it off, shut it off, and just left it off. It's another good size apartment building, but the back half of it, there's a rear stairwell there, right there, and under there, it's pretty deteriorated. I wouldn't recommend using that stairwell. We sent notices in August of 17, November of 17, January of this year, and May of this year. There's a board and seal date of April 9th, 2021. It's just been sitting. It's right near Piper Burley School too, and it gets dumped on and broken into. So we keep having to go board it up.
Mike, I'm sorry. Did you mention something about the owner on this one?
I did not. He is local. He's on Cole Road in KUHL, Cole Road in Erie. But like I mentioned that he kind of started repairs and then stopped, started repairs and stopped. And this has been a cycle ongoing since 2017. I think one of the neighbors came out and talked to me when I was there, and you can learn a lot from the neighbors. They'll tell you the whole story of most properties. Apparently this guy is a contractor, and he was using it as a rental. And the last woman left because of the condition of the building was so bad, and it's never been rented out again since.
Yeah, I just want to say for the record, I have concerns about that just because of how close it is to a school. I would hate to see a kid get in there and something.
Yeah, that's why we monitor it regularly and try to keep it boarded up. But that's why I'm presenting it for blight.
Yeah, I'll move to blight then. I don't feel safe with that being like that. So.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, lastly, we have 464 West 10th Street. This one dates back to, actually the original notice we were dealing with this dates back to 2013, but it's since changed hands. We've sent notices in December of 19, and then they got kicked back. So then we posted the notice to the door a month later in January of 19, and then we heard nothing. So then we found out it changed hands. So I sent the new owner a repair demo notice in February of 2017. And then in March, in March of 2020, I was going to present it for blight, but it had just changed hands, and the owner came in response to my repair demo order and actually spoke to us in the office. And he claimed that he was going to have all of the issues cleared up within the next month or two, and we never heard from him again. It's on a corner lot. It's in a nice area. This one also has another second story deck that seems unstable around the east side of the property. So even though it changed hands, I feel we've given both owners ample time to make good on what they promised, and nothing has happened. And even with the COVID, we get the COVID excuse a lot, and I understand that because it makes material and contractors harder to get. But I still feel like you can cut the grass, pick up trash, throw away junk and debris. That's my take on it.
Do I have a motion to blight?
So moved.
Aaron,
Second,
I'll second. Kathy?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that's all I have for you. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Anything else good for the order?
I was wondering if David, as a new member, had any questions, or if possibly when we do reopen, we had under Scott, when Howard Bibbs and I were new to Blighted Property Review Committee, we started to meet with Scott for what we called Blight 101, just sort of so we understood all the different steps. We've talked today about land bank, or I'm sorry, redevelopment authority, land bank. So if David would be interested, I wouldn't mind taking such a course again. And I think Kathy Rosdick will at some point present to City Council too, but I just wanted to make sure that David feels comfortable in the onboarding process. And actually PJ is our previous most recent member, right, PJ? And PJ, is there any, advice or background that you would want to share here in terms of, for a new member coming on board to, what we need to know and what we do, kind of the universal we. So I guess I'm asking PJ if he has any advice or suggestions, and then maybe making a request to do some, small training for, I've been here, 4 years now. I still feel like sort of a newcomer, so.
Yeah, no, I would also appreciate a training, but I think the biggest piece of advice that I can give any new member is to listen to staff. I believe we have exceptional staff in Kathy and Andy and Mike and Aaron and Jake. They all do a wonderful job. And so really just listen. I think that's the big thing is as you sort of get used to this, just sort of listen to what they have to say. And I learned a lot just by listening. As Judge Judy says, God gave you, 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you'd listen more and talk less. And so I think for me, that's been the big thing, is that I just listen to the experts and go that way. So that's my advice.
Yeah, and Dave, if I can give you any, if you want to schedule a time and we can meet virtually, or however, you want to go through the process, or anybody wants to go through the process, I'm always open to running through the entire process with anybody.
I think that would be a good idea. Just go through the process quickly. I mean, I reviewed all the documents you sent me, but yeah, a brief review probably would be helpful.
Yeah, it can become a little overwhelming through the whole process. So yeah, absolutely, we can do that.
And I also want people to know that Dave had gone through the process to apply to be on this. So we always want to acknowledge and thank people who are willing to commit the time to this. So thanks, Dave. And Aaron, let me know when you do that, because I will participate also.
All right, I will do that.
Thank you.
Hey, Liz, have you heard from Howard? How's he doing?
I haven't heard anything. I'll check with Mel to see how he is.
Okay, anything else? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second,
Second,
PJ.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.